Hello kids! I wanted to take today's video to talk about chakras and the things I've learned about them so far, how I think it affects all of us, and the cool things I think it's related to. So let's dive in, shall we? So, chakras are each of the centers of spiritual power in the human body, and usually it's related to having 7 of them. However, there are chakras built in scales of 8, 12, and 13 as well, I believe. I like sticking with the 7 for now for what I know about chakras, because I'm relating it to a bunch of other things that I think it's showing me that everything is connected, and it's really blowing my mind. Let's start off with talking about what chakras do. Chakras are believed to be part of the subtle body, not the physical body, therefore making them the meeting points for all subtle, not physical energy. And that's called nadi. Nadi are believed to be channels in the subtle body in which prana, the non-physical life force, moves freely. And that's where it comes into play that there may be more than 7 chakras. It's believed through Indian scriptures and texts that there actually might be chakras throughout the entire subtle body. However, the 7 main ones that we're going to discuss are by far the most important. Now, I want to start going through the 7 chakras. However, I am going to have more in-depth chakra videos in the future because let me tell you, I could spend a lot of time on each chakra alone. However, I just thought that a brief description of kind of what they are, what they're related to, and how you can focus on working on it, cleaning it, opening it up, make it amazing, stuff like that. So first up, the Muladhara, or root chakra. This is red. They kind of move in order of the rainbow, which also related. It's crazy how many things you're going to find out are all working together to create you being here in this existence. It's nuts. So with the root chakra being the color red, it's survival. It's how you as a person first plant your roots in earth, realize the surroundings you're in, and deal. It's known as the fight or flight response chakra. And the cool thing about this one is it's very much you figuring out yourself. So once you feel safe, you can start exploring the second chakra. It's also used in lingam massage, and it's part of tantric sex. So if you're ever interested in learning more about tantric, root chakra would be the chakra you'd probably want to look into the most, along with the sacral chakra, which is next up. That's the orange chakra. The sacral chakra is really cool because it's when you start focusing on the people that you're bringing into your life. It's kind of more about your relationships. Root chakra would be about you and your environment. Sacral chakra is going to be more about your surroundings and the people you're bringing in. So sacral chakra has to deal a lot with how we as people function as a society. Are we violent? Are we understanding? How do we work with people? It's associated with the color orange, and a cool thing to know about these chakras is when you want to cleanse or open up your chakra, surrounding yourself and eating foods of the color of the chakra actually help in doing that. I think it's kind of what it was designed to be. So basically everything in the rainbow is kind of for one chakra. It's really unique. The next one up is actually probably one of my favorites. It's the yellow chakra, Manipura, and I think it's the one that I was stuck at for so long. That's why I think it's one of my favorites. I studied the crap out of it. The solar plex chakra is actually really, really powerful. And what I'm learning about is actually us being here on Earth in this 3-dimensional world. We're kind of in Manipura. Like, it's really unique. It has to do with how your body's role in digestion actually produces energy, and that's kind of the whole focus of this chakra, is the energy that you're exuding. Key issues for the Manipura deal with fear, tension, anxiety, power. All of that stuff is stuff we are seeing in the media every day because everybody's ego is getting so out of hand, and I believe that's why we see so much chaos in today's world. I think everybody's 3rd chakra is actually just really dirty or clogged, and nobody can really focus on what we're supposed to be doing going forward. The cool thing about after the third chakra, there's a mirror door. It's what they basically describe as something that makes it seem like you're at the top. And doesn't that sound like what you're doing? Us living this life here on Earth, we cannot fathom if there's anything beyond. And if we do think that, we have to sit and question it daily. We're kind of taking ourselves out of living in the now, and that's the deceit that the mirror wall can give. There is so much more to learn after this chakra, and it's intense once you get through the mirror door, because I really do feel that's the point that people start to say you awaken. Because when you're stuck in third chakra, all you're focusing on is fear, anxiety, and how you can get through it. The moment you get through to the fourth chakra, which is the heart chakra, you start to care about your environment and the world as a whole, almost feeling like it's all one. The heart chakra is really cool. It's called Anahata, and it's the green chakra. It governs compassion, unconditional love, stuff like that in the spiritual, and it also fights off disease and circulates the blood in the physical realm. When it's open and flowing, it's unconditional love and connection to all. But then when it closes off, you can become very selfish and self-aware. And we all go through phases of that, don't we? So it's just really interesting to see where it can all stem from. The next chakra up is the throat chakra. It's called Vishuddhi in the thyroid gland, and it also produces the thyroid hormone, which physically is responsible for growth and maturation. And that's really cool because spiritually, Vishuddha covers communication and expression and how you emotionally govern your independence. This is a really cool chakra, and I think I relate the most to the throat chakra. The cool thing about the throat chakra is that it also plays a huge role in lucid dreaming. I've been looking into stuff about dream yoga. It sounds fascinating to me. I don't know much about it right now, but when I make a video on the throat chakra specifically, I'll definitely incorporate that. I don't look into it much yet because I'm really excited to start doing that. However, I'm approaching chakras in such a, I guess, weird way. I'm really learning a lot about the solar plex chakra because growing up, I have constantly had stomach aches. And my mom would take me to the doctor all the time, and the doctor would be like, "You're totally fine. Like, it's in your head." I think because I'm a worrier and I stress and I worry about the people in my life and my surroundings and my environment all the time, that I've had to learn how to calm my mind. I've learned breathing techniques in which it's really affected my Manipura. It's insane. I know this sounds nutso bananas if it's something you're not used to. If you are used to chakras, you're probably totally aware of what this stuff does, and you could probably teach me. But for people who don't really know much about this stuff is so intense, it really can help you cure ailments that you're dealing with. I know from personal experience, just from learning breathing techniques to help slow down my mind so I'm not constantly worrying and stressed, taking myself into a situation where I can focus on the now, and then also contributing a healthier diet and trying to balance out the pH levels inside my body. I mean, it may sound nuts to you, but I almost feel healthier now than I did a decade ago, and that says a lot for me personally. I just think it's really cool, and I want to get the message out there that, you know, you don't have to buy all these products, and you don't need to consume a bunch to feel healthier and to be on a better diet and lifestyle. It can all be done internally, and you just need to focus on what your subconscious is trying to tell you, because it's talking to you constantly. It's the little voice in your head that everybody tries to ignore, but honestly, we shouldn't be ignoring it. The more you can listen to what internally you're asking for, externally you might get what you seek. I think our mind is really confusing sometimes, and it's a tool. It's a tool that we don't know how to shut off. That is an interesting video as well. I am learning fascinating things about the brain and how thought could actually be the sixth sense. I mean, I'm telling you kids, we're learning together, aren't we? Okay, anyway, Mr. Rogers. The next chakra up is called Ana. It's violet in color, so on the rainbow spectrum, we're almost at the end. And it's also called the third eye chakra. Now, this is obviously one that's talked about quite a bit. If you ever watched Friends, Phoebe Buffay used to talk about the third eye a lot. But a lot of people use the third eye chakra as just kind of a broad coverage of what chakras are, which I think deters a lot of people from learning that chakras actually can help you in your everyday life. I think a lot of times people look at things like the third eye chakra and judge learning about stuff like this, about Indian culture, and the study of our spiritual bodies as something gimmicky or something that nutty people do, and it's just not the truth. It's something that human beings as a whole need to start doing immediately. It's something we shouldn't have stopped doing, and the fact that we are off course, not focusing on that and yet focusing on the exterior self and the consumption rate at which we can make sure we satisfy our ego, that's really aloof. We need to check ourselves, as you will, and really start focusing on what we can do to become a higher state of mind being. I think the third eye chakra is the perfect example of what people should start focusing on, because it really opens the realm of thought to possibility. Then you're able to think deeper and more critically, and when we can all do that, we're going to start having conversations that blow your mind. I mean, we as a people can do fascinating things. And when you look at this violet chakra, I mean, it's related to the pineal gland. The pineal gland is responsible for producing melatonin, in which that regulates your sleep patterns. This is why it's also known as the waking up chakra. It's fascinating because this chakra is basically saying that when you can be in tune with it and it's open, mentally you're able to expand your visual consciousness, and on an emotional level that relates to intuition. And I think all of this is starting to tell us that we are higher beings. There's a higher purpose for why we're here, and frequencies and the power of thought has a lot to do with it. And I think the third eye chakra is really key to finding out more information about what we're supposed to be doing here on Earth in this time period. So lastly is the one that I always have the hardest time pronouncing. It's Sahasrara. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly at all, but it's the crown chakra. Now this one's really fascinating because, again, like after the third chakra, there is a mirror wall. So once you hit that, you think you're at the top. The last chakra, Ana, that one makes you believe that you're at the peak. There's nothing further once you have intuition under control. Once you feel like your surrounding area is something you can help mold, right? So you think that's the peak. But really, there's one more. And once you step into it, it's the all-knowing. The fact that you are one with everything. Everything that happens in the perspective of your day is affecting the perceptions of reality of the people around you, and so on. If you start to think about how you interact with somebody near you, and then how that person goes on with their day to affect someone around them, and so on, people are perpetually affecting each other, and if it's negative, we're stunting ourselves from growing into a higher being, a more enlightened state in which we might not even have to have verbal language to communicate. So my understanding about the role with the crown chakra is that because it can be related a lot with the pituitary gland, and that being a gland that doctors say disperses a lot of secret hormones to the rest of the endocrine system throughout the central nervous system via the hypothalamus, and that some doctors have said that the thalamus is thought to have a key role in bringing our physical bodies into a more conscious realm. The idea for what that could possibly mean is endless. I mean, honestly, does that just mean we could all enter into the fourth dimension? Is the fourth dimension heaven that's described in the Bible? Are people on the fourth dimension angels? Are angels perhaps just people who were here in a higher enlightened state? A lot of stuff is connected here, folks. I am telling you, it's a fascinating subject. When you start to realize that the people interested in learning more about chakras range from foodie to a religious theologian, you start to realize this really spans the globe. It's not a weird topic to look into. I urge you all to take a couple minutes and just look at a map of the chakras. It's really fascinating. Put some colors around your bedroom that make you more pensive or more compassionate. See if it affects you. Start paying attention to the foods you eat. Throw in a colored vegetable and stick with it for a week. See if it starts to affect that area inside of your body. I'm telling you, it's fun to play around with, and it's not worth shoving off. It's kind of cool. Just experiment with it. Do your own thing, and definitely leave outcomes in comments below. I love having conversations about this. I always want to learn more. And also, if you have any questions, comment on those as well. Take care of yourself for the rest of the day. Keep those chakras open and meditate, huh? All right, have a good one, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.